Hi everybody, I'm Brittany. I'm a homeschool mom of 4 kids and we do the Charlotte Mason method, and I really like Usborne a lot. So I'm not an Usborne consultant, but my friend is, and she asked me to make this video. She knew that I liked Usborne, that I did Charlotte Mason, and somebody approached her, asking, was all of Usborne twaddle? That was something they had heard. And I said, you know what? I love Usborne, and I would love to address that question because there is a ton of stuff that Usborne has to offer that is great for all homeschoolers, whether you're Charlotte Mason, classical, unschooling, whatever you are, there is something for you with Usborne. And, I would be lying if I said I didn't think any of their stuff was twaddle. That's not true, but there really isn't any publisher that has no twaddle, right? So, I like to stick with the classics, obviously. All Charlotte Mason enthusiasts do. I'm not a Charlotte Mason purist by any stretch, but I do like to do unabridged classic literature, but there's still so much that Usborne has to offer for our family, and we have a ton. So, first of all, I'm going to tell you about the little baby books. This is kind of an obvious thing, but I feel like Usborne, they do these so well. I really haven't seen another company do them quite as well as Usborne. Baby books and like the touchy-feely books, especially this series, we love this one. It's like, that's not my blank. And they have a ton of options. That's not my dolly, that's not my monster. Each page has like the touchy-feely, and they have different adjectives on each page, but the sentence always starts the same. And my early readers, like my really, really early readers, really like to read these books, like to the babies. And then it's just, their sensory development. Baby books are they're just so much fun. And then the older kids who are just learning to read obviously benefit from them as well. But Usborne has a lot of really good interactive books for little bitty ones. I don't have the one with the bandages that you put on their boo-boos, but that one's really cute and I want that one. This is a popular one. There's a mouse about the house, and you take the mouse and he's slipping through the hole in each page and going and coming up into the next page, and it's just really adorable. And when they're really young, it's fun to have books like this that get kids interested in books, in reading. And then once they're able to understand plots, and they get a little bit bigger, then you can move on to something that doesn't have a mouse. But that's important to get them interested in the beginning. So one thing that we really, really like in our family, as you can see from this stack, is the Lift the Flat books. These are the, See Inside Lift the Flat books. So these are great for strewing. If you're an unschooler, you may be familiar with the concept of strewing, and you put just sort of spreading a feast, as Charlotte Mason would say, but you put books and just different things around the house for your children to find, because when they approach it and they're interested, they absorb and retain that information a lot differently than if you're trying to force feed them some information. So I love buying these for strewing, these Lift the Flat books. Telling the time, and this comes with a clock with moving hands. This is awesome. Maybe you have a math curriculum that doesn't do time and money, so these types of books are great for that. See Inside Great Cities. I love this. it's so fun even for me to look in and just lift the flaps and see like what it looks like inside of these buildings, and like inside the Louvre, like Paris is in here. We have, let's see, How Things Work, measuring things. And one thing I love about these types of books with Usborne is they cover so many things in this topic that I would never think to cover, and I think they go deeper than our math curriculum a lot of times, and just giving them like a fuller, broader understanding of this whole subject. I just wouldn't even think of some of the stuff they add in there. We have the fractions and decimals one as well, because my oldest just got into fractions and decimals. So a lot of times after we do a math lesson, I will have him turn to a page that's relevant to what he was learning and just look over it for like 10 minutes. And these are not books that you sit down and read with your child. so much because there's a lot on the page. They're very, very busy. So it's like sensory overload for some kids. And sometimes you can even take another book or just a sheet of paper and just cover some of it up so it's not so overwhelming. But my oldest is very much a visual learner, and he loves to look at the pictures and read what it says and look at the flap. If I have a kid that doesn't read yet, then, I'll read, some of it for them. But we don't even usually get through more than like half a page because it is a lot to take in. But they're just great for letting the children look at on their own as well. So another thing that I wanted to say Usborne does well is reference books, or what I call resource books. So we have their famous composers book. This is just like a great jumping off point for us to start studying a composer for the quarter. We'll start listening to their music after we read like a biography. And I wanted to say really quickly, I know like when you are Charlotte Mason and when you're kind of a book snob, you're really hesitant about buying books. I understand that. I'm like that. I'm like, what if it's not good? There's good books and there's not good books. What's awesome about Usborne is if you're thinking about buying a certain title, you can go to YouTube and they're pretty much all on there, and you can see at least one page being read, or you can freeze the screen and look at it, and it'll give you an idea. If you can see at least one page, it'll give you some hint of if this is going to be a book that you want. So that's really helpful. So if it's like an online party, you can still go to YouTube and see the books. So they have these first 1,000 word books. They have smaller ones too, like first 100 words, I think. But these, in lots of languages, they have Latin, Greek, Hebrew. We're doing Spanish right now. I know second language is important to us Charlotte Masoners. And these are so much fun for little kids. This is our whole Spanish curriculum right now, really. It's a look and find book, and it's like we'll just go to one page for like the whole month, and we'll learn all of the words for, what is this? For the house, around the house. And we'll learn all these words. They get to find the picture, find the item in the picture as we're learning the word, so it's more interactive. I think that these are really great. We have the Usborne Art Treasury. This is a lot of different composers mixed in, which is not how we learn. We do one, artists. We do one artist every quarter, but this is fun to go back. If we had already studied Van Gogh, so we came in here with the Starry Night study, and they have like a craft project after you see the picture and you learn a little bit about the way that he painted. And we did this after the fact, after we had went through a Simply Charlotte Mason picture study guide on Van Gogh. And then it has like a craft for you to practice drawing a little bit like Van Gogh did. So they do that with a lot of different paintings in here, and it's really fun. The kids enjoy it, and I kind of let them decide when they want to do this. They also have really great history timelines. They have quite a few. This one is kind of like a book of centuries. The last thing that I wanted to share is that, and I was really hesitant to buy these. I'm going to be honest. I was like, man, I don't know if these are going to be good or not. But because I don't like to do abridged books if I can help it. But Dickens is not something my kids are going to be ready for anytime soon. So I really wanted to introduce them to the plots in Dickens' stories without it being so dumbed down. And I have to say I'm very impressed with this book, Illustrated Stories. They have a lot of illustrated stories on that line, but this one's from Dickens. It's like a longer, what am I trying to say? We can read it in one sitting, like a story, but it's a longer, read aloud setting. So maybe your littles won't sit through the whole thing, but I feel like they're done really well, and the pictures and everything, and I feel like the wording is good, and it's like, it feels like you're giving them a small taste of Dickens. It really does, and in a digestible way. And we use Little Lambs and Beautiful Stories for Shakespeare in our homeschooling. But I went ahead and purchased, there is a illustrated stories from Shakespeare, but this is complete Shakespeare. It is stories from all the plays. And one thing I love about this book, besides the fact that they have pictures of the entire cast for the play at the beginning of it, and it just describes each one of the characters and what their personality is, what role they're going to play. But one thing that I love, and my kids really love, is the contents page, because it shows that Shakespeare wrote comedies, tragedies, and histories, and it has a little symbol beside each one. And we were actually choosing what to study next in Shakespeare using this contents page. It's so much fun. And of course, my kids are all about the comedies right now. So this, I like to do like beautiful stories first, and then we'll come back, maybe watch the play, and we'll come back and like read this version of it. And then maybe if your kids are a little older, you can listen to the real play, or watch the real play. But my kids aren't quite there yet. But people like Dickens and Shakespeare, you know, I feel like it's done really well. It does have to be abridged when it's somebody like this. And I feel like Usborne did a great job on these. They've been a huge asset to our schooling. So I just wanted to share those few things, and hopefully that helps you to know that Usborne does have something to offer you as a Charlotte Masoner or an unschooler or a classical homeschooler. I hope that was helpful. Bye.